Hello and a very warm welcome to all of our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwebe, reminding our viewers that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our 247 broadcasts. President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 120 billion naira to the Federal Ministry of Education to advance the ministry's technical and vocational education and training agenda. The Minister for States for Education, Professor Shuaiba Ahmed, stated this in a speech at the commissioning of the Community and Education Center at Ikot-Abasi, Akwa Ibom State. This came as the federal government prepares to empower at least 650,000 youths with the technical, vocational, and digital skills required to meet emerging industrial and laboratory needs. The 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage has successfully concluded in Abuja, Nigeria, with the theme Tackling Irrigation Development and Water Management Crisis in Africa. The conference brought together experts, policymakers, and stakeholders from across the continent to address pressing challenges in water management and agricultural sustainability. Here's Godwin Sunday's report.
The Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, has called for an urgent need for innovative strategies to transform irrigation system across Africa. He highlighted the continent's challenges, including inadequate infrastructure, financial constraint, and government issues, urging collaborative effort to overcome these barriers.
And number 1 SDG is on poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 13, climate action. When we talk about water scarcity, people have inadequate access to water for irrigation in agricultural zones, which by extension limits food production and thereby exacerbating hunger and malnutrition.
Throughout the conference, participants engaged in technical sections, policy dialogues, and site visits to key irrigation zones across Nigeria. Discussion centered on sustainable agriculture, climate resilience, and enhancing food security. Speaking during the panelist section, Dr. Mike Smith, the Director General of the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting smallholder farmers.
Many progress has been made. There are 2 things very quickly, and we can come back upon later. First of all, there's too much discrepancy between the urban areas and the rural areas. Significant increase has been done in the urban areas, peri-urban areas, but so much needs to be done, especially in the rural areas. Second thing, very quickly, we need to have access to data. As it always has been said, you cannot manage what you cannot control.
On the other hand, Dr. Mako Asari, president of ICEED, also pledged its commitment to boost livelihood and strengthen agricultural economies.
Poverty rates in rural areas remain stubbornly high. And one of the things highlighted in this conference is water can really make a difference to progress with that challenge. And in particular, we must think of water and irrigation development in terms of driving transformation through water.
The patriot of ACID, Dr. Suleiman Hassan Adamu, the immediate past Minister of Water Resources, thanked all participants and urged them to indigenoualize what has been learnt.
Unfortunately, our efforts, as you well know, to try to get the proper legal backing under a new Consolidated Water Resources Bill didn't yield fruit because some politicians thought it meant something else, and despite all our efforts to make the country educated about what this bill is and what it means to the people of this country, emotions prevailed over common sense.
As the conference concludes, stakeholders express optimism that the resolutions and partnership formed will pave the way for a more sustainable and food security in Africa. Godwin Sunday reporting for.
Thank you, Godwin. Youth involvement in crime is on the rise, and the growing trend is sparking serious concern across the nation. From petty theft to cyber fraud and violent offenses, the signs are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, was on the streets of Owerri, the capital of Imo State. Jibrin Doguwa has defended the recent visit to the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje by some members of the party as a deliberate attempt in the best interest of the party. Addressing a news conference, Doguwa said the party leadership in Kano is fully aware of the visits to Ganduje by a Kawusu Maila-led group. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin now reports.
Senator Kawusu Maila and some other lawmakers from the opposition New Nigeria People's Party in Kano paid a special visit to the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, a visit that generated concern among party supporters in Kano, but not among the party leadership. According to the chairman, the visit is meant to foster political collaboration between the NNPP and the APC at both state and national level, stressing that it's too early to start speculating.
Going around in the media, outfit, especially in social media, that our children, that is our sons, Senator Kawusu Maila, Honorable Kabir Al-Asararun, Honorable Alamadaki, Honorable Badamasi Dambata, and Honorable Abdullahi Sanurogo were in APC National Chairman's house. I want to make it clear that at least they went to APC's National Chairman house with our consent. Why we allow them to go is we want them to go and start discussing, because politics is not, politics is about inclusiveness. We want at least to start discussing on way forward.
The party leadership therefore confirms that the Kawusu Maila-led group visit to Ganduje is fully endorsed by the executive of the party in Kano, bearing in mind the interests of their constituencies.
This politics is about what? It's about game of number. It's about interest. It's about interest. So Kabiru and others, they have their own interest. They have the interest of the people they are representing, and they have the interest of those that the area that equally they are representing. So at least whatever they are discussing, if it is for the good of the people they are representing, if it is for the good of the area they are representing, I think we have the mandate they have our own mandate to pursue those discussions with the APC National Chairman.
While political atmosphere begins heating up in Kano, there are expectations that the El Jibrin-led NNPP may likely decamp to the APC in the near future. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
Let's return to our earlier story now. Youth involvement in crime is on the rise, and a growing trend is sparking serious concern across the nation. From petty thefts to cyber fraud and violent offenses, the signs are becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Let's join our Imo State correspondent, Amarachi Ibe.
We move into the streets of Owerri. The streets echo with conversations about the root causes. Many residents blame widespread unemployment, deepening poverty, and the pressure to keep up with peers. Others point to the relentless pursuit of quick money as a dangerous motivator, leading young people astray.
Poverty, unemployment, they've been addicted to drug or drug abuse, and also societal negligence.
The hardship in the country is one of the major reasons why youths go into crime. Another angle is also when pressure group trying to meet up with some certain things that life can offer makes youth go into crime.
Well, nowadays youth don't want to work. They are looking for sharp money. So most of them go into money rituals, they do Yahoo, some are doing runs. The new name they're calling now is hookup girls.
Public affairs analyst Fidel Onyeneke says the solution lies in targeted policies that empower the youth, giving them opportunities to thrive within the system rather than outside it.
We have not mainstreamed the activities and development of youth in our governance, out of governance, in our policies and so on. There are certain policies that we are supposed to make that will make the youth appreciate the fact that they are part of the society. Regrettably and unfortunately, such policies are not being implemented, even when we have them in the country. For any society to make it, for any government to achieve anything, you must mainstream the development of youth in the act of governance.
Traditional ruler of Avon Autonomous Community, Eze Mike Okere, believes tackling drug abuse and engaging young people in meaningful ventures are critical steps in addressing the crisis.
If you want to curtail crime in the society, first thing, curtail drug. So once we can curtail the amount of drug coming into the society, you see, the boys will go sober. And there are a lot of ways to rehabilitate these youths. It's a very simple way. You can rehabilitate them. Take them, I told you, you can rehabilitate these children. Take them, give them vocational training, mentoring, training, craft, so many things. And at the end of the day, they can come out becoming good people.
Addressing youth crime means more than just an arrest. It requires mentorship, job creation, and a society that gives its youth a reason to believe. In Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV.
Thank you, Amarachi. The Nigerian Army has appointed Lieutenant Colonel Onyinyechi Anele as the Acting Director of Army Public Relations. She is the first woman to occupy the position. Anele, a member of the Direct Regular Course 15 and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. Her appointment takes effect from April 22nd, 2025. In a bid to solidify the partnership fostered through the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission, recently inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu and President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, ministers of solid minerals of both nations have signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, outlining key areas of cooperation, complete with implementation timelines. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
During a bilateral meeting in his office in Abuja, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, hosted South Africa's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwande Matashi. Dr. Alake described the engagement as a milestone in deepening bilateral relations, especially in the vital mining sector. Reflecting on the historical ties between the two countries, Alake noted the long-standing diplomatic and economic cooperation built on the mutual respect and a shared vision for Africa's development. He stressed that collaboration in the mining sector offers vast opportunities for industrialization, job creation, and sustainable growth across the continent.
As we proceed, like I said, let us remain guided by the principles of mutual benefit. It is through this principle of mutual benefit that the rest of Africa can also benefit. So aim to strengthen our capacity building through these collaborative efforts and meetings. We need to strengthen our technical and regulatory frameworks through joint training and research initiatives.
Alake says the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding in geology, mining, and mineral processing will serve as a cornerstone for facilitating knowledge and technology transfer, investment promotion, capacity building, regional integration, as well as value addition. He emphasized Nigeria's renewed focus on developing its mining industry, stating that South Africa could benefit from Nigeria's vast mineral wealth, while Nigeria could tap into South Africans' advanced mining expertise,
which is sharing best practices in exploration, in extraction, and beneficiation to enhance efficiency and sustainability. Also is geared towards investment promotion, encouraging cross-border investments in mining projects and downstream industries.
In his remarks, South Africa's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwande Mantashe, affirmed that South Africa, where mining plays a central role in the economy, stands to gain from Nigerians' revitalized interest in the sector. He added that his visit aims to fine-tune agreement from the Binational Commission and to deepen collaboration on mutually beneficial projects with Nigeria's Ministry of Solid Minerals Development.
Nigeria and South Africa can find each other and work together. I can assure you Africa will be different. I'm making this point because we're in a continent which is the least developed continent in the world. We're very rich in mineral resources and oil and gas.
Both ministers committed to sustained engagement and collaborations to boost intra-African trade and deliver on the actionable steps outlined in the MOU. They expressed confidence that this renewed partnership would significantly enhance the mining sectors of both countries. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, says the tax reform bill will curb poverty and empower ordinary Nigerians. Oyedele made this known at the Spokesperson Summit organized by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in Abuja. He expressed strong optimism that the sweeping changes the bill would bring, especially for the low-income earners and small businesses across the country. On a side note, unknown gunmen have stormed the family house of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan in Ihima, Okehi local government area of Kogi State. After Senator Natasha's chief security officer, Yakubu Ovanja, informed the appropriate security agencies, officers from the Okehi Police Division rushed to the scene. Sources familiar with the incident say the attackers arrived midnight armed with cutlasses and guns, damaging parts of the building, smashing windows, and causing panic in the area. This is Global Television, and you're on to the live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agmofwegbe. When the rest of News Cycle returns shortly, Trump blocks Israeli plan to strike Iran nuclear sites. We have those details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the flip side of this break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Thank you so very much for staying with us, everyone. The rest of the news broadcast now returns with business, where Nigeria's Vice President, Kashif Shettima, has urged ministries, departments, and agencies of government to prioritize data sharing and dialogue, which are central to streamlining the business environment and enhancing the ease of doing business in the country. Stanley Okocha, Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Communication, said this in a statement. The Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, says in the last 12 years it has been making consistent positive returns. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Aminu Umar Sadiq made this known at the authority's media engagement on the 2024 earnings presentation in Abuja. Let's now join Queen Agaba for details.
Speaking on NSIA's broader investment outlook, the Managing Director and CEO, Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, Aminu Umar Sadiq, says the authority has adopted a defensive asset allocation strategy across its Stabilization Fund and Future Generations Fund to withstand global economic uncertainty, particularly in light of political challenges in the United States. He reveals that the authority has attracted over $1 billion in third-party capital for infrastructure investment, in addition to committing $500 million of its own funds. He cited the financial guarantor, which grew from over $25 million to over $300 million in attracted capital, and ongoing efforts by Nigerian mortgage Refinance Company and MedServ to secure significant investments.
UMA here, we took time to perfect the business model, perfect the pricing, optimize the patient experience, optimize the training, and off the back of that, when the business model was perfected, then we commenced the expansion process, going from 1 oncology center to 4, and going from 2 diagnostic centers to 12. And we're in the process of constructing those centers. We have signed the definitive binding agreements for the machinery, for the equipment, and by 4th quarter of this year, we should be live, fully operationalized in phase 1, in phase 2 of our MedServ expansion process.
The managing director further reveals that the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority will soon end its intervention in the fertilizer blending sector under the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative. This follows an 8-year effort that has seen the number of functional blending plants grow from just 4 in 2017 to more than 90 across the country. Umar Sadiq noted that the authority has fulfilled its mandate in resuscitating the sector as its continued involvement is no longer necessary.
And so we started that program in 2017. But what was important and what was crucial in terms of that business model was to ensure that the focus, the objective was to resuscitate the sector so that the blending plants are actually independent. It was not to sustain NSI's continued engagements, continued intervention in the sector. And so essentially what we did, we started off buying all the raw materials, transporting everything to the blending plants, paying the blending plants to pay, to blend, and then selling the fertilizer in from the gate of the blending plants. And then as each of these blending plants then essentially had a historical record for cash flows, then NSI then pulled back slightly.
He further explained that the liberalization of the sector strengthened by the Central Bank of Nigeria's removal of foreign exchange restrictions on the importation of inputs has attracted active market participants. Take 2. He further explained that the liberalization of the sector strengthened by the Central Bank of Nigeria's removal of foreign exchange restrictions on the importation of inputs has attracted active market participants capable of sustaining operations without NSIA's intervention. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting.
Queen Agaba, thank you. Now let's get to sports, where we bring you some excitement. Nigeria's Quadri Aruna was the last African to exit the 2025 ITTF World Cup in Macau, China, as the continent's campaign came to a disappointing end following group stage eliminations for all representatives. The second-ranked African player fell in straight sets to Sweden's Anton Kullberg. What a way to end it all. The National Sports Commission has commended Team Nigeria's outstanding performance at the recently concluded ITTF World Para Future Tournament in Amman, Jordan, where the nation displayed its prowess in para-table tennis by finishing among the top 3 teams globally. Over the 3-day championship, which took place from April 13 to 15, Nigeria amassed a remarkable haul of 5 gold, 7 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Competing against powerhouses such as Germany, Iran, and host nation Jordan, Nigeria stood tall as one of only 3 African nations in attendance alongside Egypt and South Africa. And that's a full circle on the news here on Global Television. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our 247 broadcast. On behalf of the entire team that has made this news broadcast possible, domiciled here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, I'm Uyi Agumofwegbe, saying we appreciate you for your time. Bye-bye.